It's vlog day 679. Almost fell over there, but I didn't because my balance is masterful.
Both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using the brand new system.
I actually ordered from my run. I've started calling my filters in because they just take a while. They're actually the ones that suggested it, I think, to save some time. So, and it means they have to put up with me a little bit less. But the coffee's not ready yet. I already changed shirts because that one was kind of gross. Good morning. It's Saturday, and it's actually not even morning anymore. Went for a run, had some coffee. Was out very late last night. Thanks to everybody who came to the meetup last night. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to meet those of you who I hadn't met before. It was good to see those of you I had met already again. And I definitely want to do more of them. I was talking to Pat. I want to do them like closer to like weekly, every other week, something like that, just because there's so many people coming through. It's going to be really hard to catch everybody otherwise. I mean, having one evening out having a beer sounds like a really good way to do it because I need to get back on my diet. And that is why today I thought I would talk about my weight loss journey. I say weight loss journey with quotes because it sounds corny to me, but it describes it fairly well. I'm gonna shower, probably eat something that's not particularly healthy or in line with weight loss journeydom. And then we're gonna talk about that. Like any good journey, we need to go way back to the beginning. Not all the way to the beginning. I think I've shared this a little bit, but I definitely was like the fat kid growing up. I wasn't actually the fat kid. If you go back and look at photos of me as a kid, I was a little bit chubby, but nothing beyond your normal cherub youth. But I definitely felt like the fat kid. I had a real insecurity about it. And it was kind of exacerbated by a number of things, but I was that kid that like went swimming with his shirt on. Yeah, it was pretty awkward. I don't know if I have any photos of that. I hope I don't have any photos of that. I have to ask my mom. The irony, of course, of talking about my weight loss journey today and needing to get back on my diet is that I'm having McDonald's. And that's not an ad for McDonald's. This is just like the closest post-beer soak-up food. I'm feeling fine. I'm doing really well today. I'm just need something in my stomach that's, you know, greasy, basically. Anyways, speaking about being the fat kid, I really struggled with that like all my life. And I'm not exactly sure where it came from. There are a couple of instances that I can think of where I was kind of like shamed for having love handles or just kind of felt chubby, you know, and everybody has their own insecurities about their body. I think we all struggle with our body image no matter which body we have. Attention, ouais. Il est super vicieux, lui, hein. Super dangereux. Oh, mignon, ouais. C'est ça, c'est dangereux. Merci. That dog was adorable. But yeah, I was just always embarrassed by the way that I looked. And I've never really thought of myself as that good looking of a person, I suppose, but it's more that, I don't know, I definitely, yeah, I was insecure about my body all the way into college. It turned out that the trick to curing that was going skinny dipping, actually. Cure is kind of a strong word. It didn't cure it, but it did really actually start me on a nice path to recovery. Thing was that I hated swimming pools, beaches. Like I actually enjoy the tropics, it turns out. I love humidity and like heat and the ocean. I'm a little bit too white to spend too much time in the sun, but I really hated it all growing up and most of my adulthood because I didn't want to walk around with my shirt off. Like that was kind of embarrassing and gross and girls won't like me if they see me with my shirt off. So one of the really, really cool things that happened was when I was in San Diego for a summer in college, a whole bunch of us guys that were all living in the same dorm together, we all just went down to the beach late at night. It was dark. I think I don't remember which beach it was actually, but we jumped into the water and as we're swimming, doing some night swimming, which is amazing. Highly recommend night swimming as long as you're a good swimmer and you're being safe. It was amazing. Moonlit beach, dark, jumping into the water together, and then one of the guys called out, "Show them the white whale, boys," which is code for moon the beach, and we all just like mooned the beach and dove into the water. And then all of a sudden we're skinny dipping, diving around in the water, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm not embarrassed. I'm hanging out with a bunch of friends. I'm really not embarrassed to be out here with them. I mean, we can't see anything anyways because it's dark, but I was just like, this is the way it should be. Like, I shouldn't be worried about how I look in this way. And there was a little bit of a switch that flipped, and I was like, I'm on my way out of this. Dude, it's so hot in my room. The truly insidious thing, however, about internalizing this idea that I was fat, it meant that I kind of lost hope. I got to college and I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm not going to do sports anymore. I'm not going to do anything. Like, I'm just going to kind of have fun and not worry about it. And I did get fat. I gained a lot of weight. I think I was like 185 pounds when I left high school. And by the time I left college, I was like 240 or something. It's a lot of excess weight, especially if you're not lifting anything. I just had it in my head that there was nothing I could do about it. And so as I got fatter, I didn't really even see myself getting fatter because I was just kind of filling out this image that was already in my head. And I was just kind of matching how disgusting I already felt. And I just let it go. And I stayed kind of at that weight. I would fluctuate a lot, actually, between like 210, 230. 240 was like the highest I ever got. Maybe I wasn't there when I left college. I don't remember when I hit 240 exactly, but I fluctuated a lot. And as I went through life, when I was with Mercy Ships, everywhere, I just had all this extra weight, and I carried it okay, but I wasn't happy with myself or proud of myself. And I always wanted to change it. I always wanted to lose that weight and change my body image, change the way I looked. Not for any other reason than just because I wasn't happy with how I looked. And ultimately that was an internal thing that needed to change more than anything. And, eventually it would. I took a nap. I was really, really tired. It was more than just being unhappy though, because it really tied into my sense of self-worth. I didn't really value myself in a lot of ways, and that's part of the reason that I let that go. Like I wanted that to change, and as I started to value myself more, as I started to believe myself more, that helped to a degree. I don't know why it worked finally in some ways though, but it was when I turned 30 that I was like, we're changing, like this is happening, I'm gonna do it, I'm finally gonna actually get on this horse and do it. I've been running for a while, I've been working out for a while, like I was in decent shape underneath all the fat. It was just like, now it's time to actually burn this off. And so I jumped straight into it. I turned 30 and I got hardcore about the calorie counting. I tried doing calorie counting before. This is a time in my life when I was actually a consultant on electronic medical records. So I was traveling around the country, going to new places every week and helping medical professionals get on a new electronic record wherever I was going. I tried in Louisville, Kentucky to diet and hadn't set my calorie count too high, wasn't conservative enough. I was not burning enough calories even though I was working out. Like I was going to spin classes and I was running and I was lifting, but I wasn't burning enough calories. So I learned that lesson, and so that this time when I did it and I was successful at it, I set my calorie count to something that was very conservative and kept working out, just didn't eat as much. And really watched what I ate, and it was both miserable and amazing. Over 4 months, I dropped 40 pounds, which was pretty significant. That's a good chunk of fat. And that's where I dropped it, because I was like, my goal is gonna be 40 pounds, but my ultimate goal was really to drop underneath 200. Like, I wanna get down to 190 at some point. That would be ideal. And I didn't quite make it. Sorry, I wasn't wearing any pants. I'm still not wearing any pants. Just want to make sure I didn't accidentally film that. So the way that I ended up doing it, honestly, I was in a really dark place. We talked about this before, but like for about 2 years, I was consulting and I was on an airplane every 4 days, roughly, like twice a week. So every 3.5 days, I guess. And it was just pretty miserable, but it also created kind of the perfect situation. After I got over some heartbreak and managed to get over myself a little bit and had some energy to burn, I really didn't have anything to do. I was working in Springfield, Illinois. No offense, Springfield, but there's nothing to do in Springfield, Illinois. And the food's not very good either, so there really wasn't a lot of temptation around. Even though all my meals were paid for by my job, it was like, I'm just gonna eat like basic stuff. And so like I would eat cheeseburgers and stuff still as well, but like it was pure calorie counting. It was all about, okay, let's try to stay on top of how many calories I'm consuming, and then working out in the evening and trying not to eat all the calories that I burned while I was working out. I had a protein shake as my treat after each workout, and then I'd go upstairs and work on Into the Nanton. So basically every morning was like, get up, go to work in my little windowless box, go work out, work on Into the Nanton, go to bed, do it all over again. And working on Into the Nanton was probably really good training and discipline for vlogging every day down the line, but that worked. As I did that and didn't really have much to do, I would give myself a cheat day every week that I would look forward to, that would help my body to remember that it wasn't starving, and then I'd go back to strict calorie counting after that, and just steadily lost a couple pounds a week for 4 months, and hit my goal. And then, like I said, the problem was that I quit at that point, which is why now, if we had the goals on the wall, which we need to start recapping the goals here soon, because we're getting close to the halfway point through the year. How are the goals coming along? On the weight loss one, I was about halfway on my drop 20 because I wanted to get down close to that 190 goal. And I've stalled out. Like I've completely stalled out for a number of reasons, blah, blah, blah. Life happens to all of us. But my hope is that I can get back on that horse and drop the rest of that. And this is the thing that kills me. One of the things that motivated me before, that is almost motivating me now, motivation to lose weight is one of the hardest things to come by, was that if I had kept going, if I had stayed on my diet that I started in January when we started all this, I'd be done by now. Like, I would have lost all that weight and I would be done and I could just go back to living my life as a normal human being again. But instead, I have to hype myself up and try to get back on it. And not as hard, especially with travel and stuff coming up. And it's always easy to just keep kind of putting it off. So, I gotta get this figured out. But that's a little bit about my weight loss journey. I'm not sure that I left anything out. I probably did leave some things out. But we're all human and we all struggle with this. And yeah, I don't know, for me it's not an issue now. I'm much less insecure than I was, still a little bit, of course. I just want to get back, I feel like that weight is healthier. Like, there were some health problems that I had, like I had some pretty serious indigestion issues and a bunch of other like random health problems that all went away when I lost that 40 pounds. Like reducing how much I ate, changing my diet. Naturally, by reducing your calorie count, you change your diet to be healthier as you go. Like, a lot of things just naturally got better, and I think that staying down close to a more ideal weight is just gonna be overall healthier. I'll feel better. It'll be better for my joints when I'm running. There's just a lot of reasons to do it. So I don't think that it's a bad idea, and I really want to get back to it. Just got to find the right motivation. And I hoped that being open about it on the vlog would provide a lot more motivation, because be like, well, now I got to do it. Like, I got to, but I don't want to do that either. Like, I don't want my motivation to be like, I got to prove myself. And, you know, like, that's not healthy either. I got to do it for me. Like, it really has to be for me. And it will be. Just got to figure out like how to flip that switch again. I mean, my birthday is coming up, so maybe I got to do it for my birthday again. And it helped actually when I was like, I'm going to start on this day. I got psyched up for a while and then I did it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I need to set a date, get started, and just go for it. What do you think? Feel free to leave your comments below. Have you lost weight before? How did you do it? What was your weight loss journey like? Would you like to lose weight? How would you like to do it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. If you enjoyed today's video, please do subscribe, of course. I would love to see you around. I also have some really exciting announcements I'm gonna be making on Patreon soon that I'll be sharing with the rest of you soonish, but I'm gonna give the sneak peek of next month's shirt, and I'm actually gonna do an early release for next month's shirt for the patrons. And then I'm teaching English all week, which I'm not looking forward to. Anyways, I'm gonna start rambling, so I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for more, whatever this is. See, I'm just be silly, and then when nobody takes it seriously, who cares if you're a little chubby, right? See you tomorrow.